Alright guys, welcome back for part 2 of the Terran vs. Terran tutorial. As I said at the end of part 1, expect to see games that are a lot more standard in this part of the tutorial. Pretty much the first 3 games were one base all in, kind of cheesy from our opponents, so here you're actually going to see them expand. I think, at least in this first game, he does. And also, I heard, I mean, I didn't hear, but I've read a lot of comments, maybe not even a lot, but some of you were saying that I should stop telling you what's going to happen in the games and instead just tell you information as I get it. So I think I've been doing that so far in the first 2 games, and I'll continue to do it in all the videos that I make for the future. So
additional supply depots required.
Yeah, that's how that'll go. I'm not walling off on this map because, again, we learned from the first game that you really don't want the barracks at the wall. It's okay to put depots at the wall in case you want to like finish the wall with the bunker later on to defend from some kind of attack or something, but it's really up to you. I mean, you can experiment with walling, not walling, and find out what works for you. I do both. I do both in these games, so you'll have to see for yourself. Alright, so this is the game that I was talking about where I only get 1 Reaper, and the reason for that is because Entombed Valley has almost no places for a Reaper to jump into the main. It basically only has the cliff that is behind the minerals of the natural. To the right of the main, at least in the one where we spawned, there's that chasm, so you can't jump over that, and that's between the 3rd and the main. And minerals screw up the cliff hopping AI, the movement AI of the Reapers, and also like loading into dropships and stuff like that. So I really don't want to be doing any aggressive 3 Reaper hop into the main like with a scan like you saw in the Banshee game, simply because the map geography doesn't cater to it very well at all. So we're just going to be getting 1, and what that'll do is instead of spending that next 100 gas on the next 2 Reapers, we're actually going to be able to get our combat shield a lot earlier, and as a result of that we're going to be able to get stim a lot earlier as well.
Bad news.
So I move up here and I see he's got a Marine there, so I'm going to wait for my Reaper to come before I try to scout him. And again, we're going to need combat shield extremely early. As you see, it goes down right now at the 4-minute, 10-second mark. And I'm making Marines now out of that 1 barracks. So I see he's scouting me, but I'm going to try to scout him here. I send my SCV in first to tank damage while the Reaper deals the real damage from behind, and I'm actually able to pick off these 2 Marines. There's a 3rd one, and I barely get away from that, and I keep the Reaper alive. So unfortunately we didn't get to go into the main. It would have been good if he was doing something like a Reactor Hellion opening where he gets 2 Marines only and then builds a reactor. We could have hopped in if that was the case. But since we know he's built 3 Marines and they came out 1 at a time, they didn't come out in pairs of 2s as you saw with that one at the end there. That means he doesn't have a reactor and he's producing them off of 1 barracks. And of course he could be hiding things, but we're just going to keep that information in our head as we play this game to sort of cross off what he can't be doing. So we're just getting our barracks up here, and those are going to have reactors on them when they finish. And our command center is done, so we're going to get that orbital. And as you can see, combat shield's basically done right now, so we're going to start stim a lot earlier than we did in the other games. And you may want to make this your standard if you don't feel like you have the micro or multitasking to deal with little Reaper harass. I mean, 1 Reaper just for possible scouting information and then into all Marines is going to help a lot. Now since we didn't scout, I give him scan here, and I see that he's got a couple barracks, a expansion that's finished, a factory, and a starport. And the factory was building a tech lab, if I'm not mistaken. So I just do the standard thing right here with the next 100 gas. After the reactors, I throw down my factory, and I get my third gas right about the same time, so in anticipation of the starport and medevacs. He throws down a scan, and sees exactly what I'm doing. I'm perfectly fine with that. My expansion has probably been floated down before his, and I have that bunker there, so I feel safe from anything he can throw at me, especially with those buildings. Those buildings are more of a late game style because he's not going to have a lot of Marines early or a lot of anything. So I go ahead and get that starport right away and get that reactor down so I can start double medevacs. And just build supply depots as necessary.
Not enough minerals.
So in this phase in the game, I'm basically I'm just trying to keep a lead. So I'm pretty sure I'm ahead based on my scan and what I've scouted. So now I'm just trying to produce SCVs without missing a beat, and gonna defend from any attacks that he wants to throw at me. So I go ahead and swap those, and that SCV that you see moving out to build a depot, I build it at this weird location on the map, and that's to spot a drop in case he sends a drop all the way around the map. I just like to do that with depots, because I don't know, I think it's a really good way to do that. I don't like sending a Marine there, just because I like keeping all my Marines together. So I like to build depots all around the map in TvT just to spot for drops. So when Stim is done, as it's done right now, I go ahead and lift my barracks and get a new factory on that tech lab again. As you see, he's doing a drop here, and I'm keeping my eyes on the minimap because when Terran does a drop like this, it's likely that they're going to drop you in another place at the same time. But I kept my eyes on the minimap. I didn't see any blue dots coming in anywhere. So, and he ran away with that pretty quick, so it's probably just a light pressure, and he's not going to do anything else. I go ahead and get my 2 E-bays because we got to start upgrades, and since we started them kind of late at 10 minutes, we want to be doing double ups so that we can catch up in case he's gotten +1 already. I send an SCV to start my third right as I move out, and as you can see, I have the production that I want: 3 barracks with reactors, 2 factories with tech labs, and 1 starport with reactor. So using my 5 hotkey, I can go ahead and produce all these units whenever I need to, while keeping an eye on my army. So I go ahead and drop 2 medevacs full of Marines into his natural, and I see there's a siege tank there, so I double click the medevacs and hit S, which stops them from dropping, and I reload and I queue up to drop another location into his main. I go ahead and get my upgrades there, and I have these Marines outside ready to run in case he leaves that undefended. So go ahead and drop on this little ledge right here, and we're going to see what we can do. So he's got a bunch of Marines there, but they don't look like they're upgraded, and he hasn't stimmed, so probably doesn't have stim yet. So my Marines are going to own his because I have stim and combat shield. So I'm able to take all those Marines out, and then I just run into the middle line and see what damage I can do. I see he's got 3 barracks, 2 factory, and he's building missile turrets, so probably scared of Banshee. I'm not sure why he's scared of Banshee because of what he's scanned. But yeah, so then I move my Marines in from the natural because I think he's going to bring guys back. And as you can see right here, he's bringing more. Oh, there's all his tanks that were sieged up his natural. So I'm going to go ahead and fly away here. That means his natural's undefended, so I can go ahead and run in here and take out his SCVs right here. And I'm just hitting 5 and making sure that I'm producing 2 tanks at a time, 6 Marines at a time, and medevacs. And then I go ahead and try to snipe this. I see he's already got the 3rd up, just like I have. So I go ahead and take that out. And he hasn't brought guys down to defend this, so I go ahead and stim away just in case he's bringing guys, and he calls it GG. Yeah, so that's the basic kind of attack you want to do. You really want to be aggressive with drops if he'll let you, like if there's an opening into his base. It's an excellent thing to do. Don't get over aggressive and lose your dropships, of course, but so that was a good example of a game where you can overwhelm them because of your fast upgrades. So let's go on into game 5 here, and I hope you enjoyed that one, and this next one as well. Okay, so this is going to be another game on Core Hall Compound. And this time, unlike the first game that I showed, we are going to be putting our barracks inside the base so that stim is safe. And this guy was actually, I think he was a Zerg, and I played against him, and I actually let him have a win after I had won the game. I just left the game, and he asked me why, so I told him that I was doing these tutorial videos, and I was actually smurfing, so I didn't feel good taking a win from him. So that's basically what I've been doing on this account, is that
Not enough minerals.
so that it doesn't take me forever to get these videos out to you. I've been leaving against the other two races, and if it's
Not
too many in a
enough
row, like if I
minerals.
get 3 Zergs in a row, I'll play one game and win, just so that I don't tank the rating too hard. But I've kept it at like high platinum MMR, so which I think is like the best MMR to
Additional supply.
show people how to play the game, because everyone that you play against, your opponents, do semi-standard things, and they do them
Not enough minerals.
they do them pretty well. Like they can execute a build order, but it's still to the point
Not
where
enough minerals.
they're not doing anything super fancy that that I actually have to
Not
like
enough minerals.
try really hard to keep up with them. So yeah, I hope you
Not
guys
enough.
feel the same way, that this level of play is helping you learn the belt the most. And of course, if you're in the lower leagues, maybe you'll see even more crazy stuff. But I guarantee you that this build can be applied to basically anything they can throw at you, and you can react. If you can react accordingly, you can deal with anything. So apparently I was wrong, and I actually put my barracks at the wall again this game. Apparently old habits die hard, so let's hope that he plays more standard, and that doesn't come back to bite me.
Big job, huh?
So I see he's walled in. If you see the depot done before the racks, like the second depot done before the barracks is done, you can know that he went for a gasless one racks. And that's because if you get the gas, the earliest you can have the minerals to get the depot is right after your barracks is done. And so that's how that was the timing for this one. Like as my SCV scout saw, his barracks was done, then he started the depot. So he definitely still could be getting gas. This SCV, I just walled in to trap him inside my base. If you can do this, it's really good. He obviously sees the tech lab, so he knows it's a Reaper. So you might as well just kill this SCV for free and don't let him escape.
Oh yeah, baby.
Then I can send my Reaper out and expand. Right there, I right-click my barracks onto the Reaper, which rallies it to the Reaper. If you didn't know that, you can actually do that with anything with a rally point. You can rally it to a unit, and the rally point will move along with the unit, instead of just rallying it to a location on the map. So a nice thing to do if you've saved your SCV scout is to send it up the ramp while having the Reaper behind it, because then you can get vision to pick off a Marine if he's straggling on top, and you can get a semi-good scout off if there's anything right behind the wall. So I see there's nothing really, and he's got three Marines that were positioned to snipe the Reaper if he tried to jump off the cliff, so I was able to see that. So I know he hasn't got a tech lab or a reactor on his barracks. That's basically all I know. I can assume he's got gas because of the depot timing. And because his Marines were down there, I go up to this top cliff and I see that I'm not taking fire, so I'm good to jump in. And I see there's a starport and tech lab building. I snipe the guy building the starport, which is going to delay any tech that he wanted to get out. It's probably going to be Banshees because he's probably thinking about swapping the starport in the factory when the tech lab is done. So I'm just continuing my standard build. It doesn't affect it at all. I just throw down an eBay. As you can see, I do have the minerals to do that. And I'm getting combat shield and Marines now that I have 3 Reapers out. Now I go up to this cliff because I'm pretty sure he moved his Marines up to the top. And I avoid that bunker and go around and pick off these SCVs. As you can see, 3 Reapers do one-shot SCVs. And it's really nice. I picked off probably almost 10 there. And then I can just get out. And I don't want to take damage. I don't want to be overzealous and go in. Now look at this turret placement. Because this map has almost no area, like on the edges, to skirt around with the Banshee, I place it far to the edge and down a little bit. Not in the center of my minerals, but sort of to the south of them. And the reason for that is because it's not even going to let the Banshee run past it at all. It's not even going to get to any place where it can start harassing me. If I put it in the middle of my mineral line, he can harass the guys in the gas. He can harass the guys in the outside. But this position right here is going to totally Banshee-proof me. just in case that's what he's doing. I got my factory at the normal time, which is basically just after you have the gas, and then you can go ahead and start your second gas right away. So I see the Banshee there. Now I'm gonna have to run away with these Reapers, and I put this other turret, as you can see, at my natural in a good position too. Now this is sort of like the you can't catch both of us philosophy, so I break my Reapers into I break them apart, so the Banshee can only chase and kill one of them. So there, the one with low health died, and he sacrificed himself to save the other Reaper. So this other Reaper is just going to hang out sort of and be a scout late game. So I'm moving my Marines up here because I know the Banshee's in the top left corner because he just killed the Reaper there. So the most logical place for him to fly in is to the north, to the left side of my natural. And if he does that, then you're going to see that he'll fly into the turret even if he has cloak, so I'll be able to see him. And if he's careless and he doesn't look at it while it flies in, like there, he almost lost it. It's on 1 HP right now. So if that kind of thing happens, he basically can't harass me at all because if he takes one hit, it dies. So I swapped my starport on to the factory, to the factory's reactor to get that double medevac going. And then I just keep supply depoting, SCVing, all this good stuff. I can see that he doesn't have a third, and my Reaper's hanging out down there. I'm going to send him into his natural to see if he's taken that. Okay, so he hasn't taken that. I'm not going to try to go in the main because he probably has a bunch of units there that he's pooling. So I'm going to send it back to the third, and I can send it in to scout the natural at a later time. Okay, let me try to think about what I should say. So I know you guys like to hear why I do things and what I'm thinking, and at this point I'm basically thinking I'm perfectly fine. I have nothing to worry about. His Banshees are doing 0 damage, especially that one. You see that missile turret is placed in such a position that he couldn't even get one hit off. So I feel excellent at this point. I've got stim done, combat shield done. If he tries to move out onto the map, I have that watchtower down there. And I can see his guys there. I can prepare a flank with my Marines and do basically whatever I want. So right now I'm going to... Okay, so he's got 2 Banshees out. So I'm going to move out with my Marines. I feel very confident that my missile turrets can hold off any Banshees in my main. And any Marines that are coming out now in my reactors can hold them off if he's trying to go for production. So he's cloaked here, but I saved his scan, so I'm just going to stim and run in. I group like 5 Marines. I box 5 Marines in front, and then stim those only. Just so I don't waste a bunch of stim. Okay, so right here you can see he's pushing out with a Marine tank. He probably has siege just like he did in the first, or the guy did in the first game. So I'm not going to engage this. I'm gonna force him to siege up back there and just delay him. There's really no need to rush in and crush this. You can if you want. I mean, like, my Marines can definitely do it. Right here he was unsieged, so I go in and pick off the tank and then run away. And all my Marines, they only took damage from the stim. And right here, I try to kill this Banshee, but I run away before the tank can get another shell on my Marines. So, and I'm using my W key, which is hold position, in the bottom right. Yours is default to H, but that's very important that your Marines don't like chase the Banshee and then get owned by the siege tank fire. And I'm just going to float my third over while I'm getting double tanks. As you see, I put that second factory on that tech lab that was done with stim. And I'm sending my Reaper into the bottom here to see if he's taken his expansion. He just dropped 2 mules right in front of my Reaper, so thank you for the free gifts. And I'll just go ahead and snipe those and get away. Meanwhile, taking my third, he hasn't even got his natural saturated yet. I'm going to put a sensor tower there just for fun because I don't have the watchtower, and I want to see if he's reinforcing, and if he unsieges and moves his tank. I want to know about that too.
Go ahead. Go by the numbers, boys.
So I go ahead and give it a scan just in case. I probably should have waited just because my sensor tower is about to finish, but he hasn't reinforced it at all. So it's not scary at all. As you can see, my army is almost like doubled in size, and I have 3 tanks out right now. So I just box everything, and I'm going to just try to bypass him and go all the way around. And if he tries to move in with that tiny force that he has, he's going to have to unsiege. So I can easily defend it with any units that are coming out of my production right now. So my Reaper, as you can see, like he canceled his third. I think he tried to start it and the Reaper was there.
Will do.
So I go ahead and scan that. And only one tank, but
Go ahead.
I make it a habit not to really engage into any tanks at all. So I sort of,
Orders?
a little bit indecisive, but I decide not to. I go around the side there. And he tries to push in, so I just stim forward. And those SCVs were transferring. I pick off the tank because I can do that when it's unsieged. And I can just go ahead and send my SCVs that are left over. And right here, you want to move your tanks up to the edge and siege, but unfortunately I was horrible and I forgot siege mode, which can cost you the game in certain situations. But essentially it would be the exact same thing you're seeing here, but with siege tanks that could defend your Marines in the main easily. But as you can see, he just has nothing, and that's too much army for him to deal with. So there's GG. That was a much standard game. You'll probably see a Banshee expand a lot. And that wasn't all in at all from him. That was just pressure, and we dealt with it very perfectly, especially with getting the Reapers in to do some harassment and scouting. So I hope you enjoyed that, and that was educational. And we're going to go into a quick final game here. And here we go. So again, Core Hall Compound, and we actually got the same starting position every time, didn't we? That was supposed to be like the map of the day or something. But yeah. So I completely forget how this game goes. I know it's a bit of a shorter game, but I'll do my best to only reveal information to you guys as I see it and as I remember the game, so that you can see what I look for when I scout and how I react to certain things. So I think in this game, let's hope that I remember not to put my barracks at the wall to keep the stim safe. Yeah, but we're going to see if I do that in a second. So let's talk about that last game for a little bit. Of course, it didn't have to be the Banshees. It could be like just a normal siege mode and siege tank with a Viking or medevac out of the factory. But as we saw in the first game, that's definitely holdable if you pull your SCVs. And I probably should have done it earlier, of course, in the first game. Oh yes, I do remember to put my barracks in a little bit.
Not enough minerals.
But it did turn out to be Banshee's last game. And so the turret placement, combined with the fast combat shield and stim from the Marines, allowed us to take absolutely no damage whatsoever. And we came out really ahead, and as you saw, his natural was really, really late. And even my Reaper, when it scouted it, I still picked off 2 mules and he didn't have SCVs there. So yeah, that whole game went pretty well. The only thing that I was horrible about was friggin' siege mode, but it turned out not to matter because my army was just so overwhelmingly big. Alright, so same thing as always. 13 gas, send those guys in tech lab when the racks is done. And I go ahead and send my scout after the rack starts, like on 12 or 13 supply.
Insufficient Vespine gas.
On a 2-player map like this, you can send it a little bit later, just because you know where he's going to spawn. But unfortunately, I did send it too late, and his wall was already up. So it's actually looking identical to the last game so far. But of course, it's too early to tell if that means anything or not. So I just send my SCV back to the watchtower to maintain that vision as my Reaper comes out. And if you look on the mini-map, there's that blue dot coming toward my SCV, so
our SCVs
I use my hotkey. I have it hotkeyed to 2, and I just click away immediately as soon as I see it to keep him alive. And that Marine, if possible, we can pick it off with the Reaper because it'll be away from any supporting units. So I'm getting ready to take my Expo now that my first Reaper's out. And I see that he's got, yeah, he was bringing his Marine out, so one Reaper can deal with that really easily. So I'll go ahead and throw down that expansion, and we'll chase this SCV down. He's going the long way around, and Reaper can cliff hop, so I'm going to go on an intercept course here, and go ahead and take that out. And then we'll do the standard, you know, like SCV up the ramp to scout, and then poke with the Reaper. So 2 more barracks go down, and we're going to start combat shield in a second here.
What's it worth?
And we'll go ahead and see what he's got. Looks like he's been rallying SCVs to the north, so maybe he's got a few on the cliff up there. So gotta be careful about that. Combat shields started, and we're just gonna send the SCV to the tower and have our Reapers hang out outside his base. Meanwhile, I can go ahead and finish that wall. This is sort of what I was talking about on the Entombed Valley game, where you can wall off with depots instead, and you still keep your barracks back. It's a lot more safe because your stim will be done. It's still kind of dangerous because if he does do that siege push, you can lose 3 depots, which could supply block you at a bad time. But it's a lot safer than putting your tech lab at the wall, that's for sure. So my expansion's done. And I'm going to see if I'm taking fire from the cliff here, and I'm not, so I jump in. And it looks like his Marines were further back, so it allowed me to jump in before I fired at him. And so it looks like he has got a... I don't know why he built the bunker there, probably he's scared of Reapers or something, but I'm looking for a starport, and it looks like he does have a starport. That was probably a huge mistake of him lifting it. He's probably panicking right now because he only had a few Marines. So... yeah, I'm not sure. He landed it right back, so that's probably a big mistake. I just sort of come in and pick stuff off. I don't want to take any more damage on the Reapers if I don't need to. But with only 1 Marine, you can pick that off easily. And I pick it off before he even gets into the bunker again. And now I can just one-shot SCVs. Even a Hellion, look at this. You can sort of split your Reapers, but they take out Hellions so fast just because they're light as well. But yeah, so... actually, it looks like he was going for a Cloaked Banshee, but maybe not even Cloaked Banshee, but he does have 2 gases. Maybe, I don't know, my theory is that he was researching Cloak, and then he accidentally lifted his starport right as my Reapers came in, so that's why you didn't see anything. And my macro is really bad here, but I was just focusing on microing the Reapers, so... that's a pretty quick game. Sorry if you don't like that kind of game where I just win straight up with the Reapers, but I just want to show you that it's doable. And you see, he was platinum. So that's the kind of thing that can happen occasionally with this build, which is one of the reasons why I like it, is because you don't have to deal with that kind of BS, like defending Banshees. Sometimes you can just kill them right away in the lower league. So it'll help you advance, and it'll help your multitasking as well. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. As far as the future goes, I will be releasing 1 video a week, weekly Sunday night, because the tutorials are done for all 3 races. Give me suggestions in the comments or email me at maxsctv@gmail.com. Email me your ideas for future videos. And other than that, please follow me on JustinTV, which is my stream at twitch.tv/maxsc. You can see whenever I go live. I do a weekly stream, 4 hours, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on my stream, where I just do ladder games. I record the games and I upload the replay pack when I'm done, and I post that to my Facebook, which if you want to like me on Facebook is facebook.com/maxsctv. And let's see, other than that, I do coach. I coach for $15 an hour. I think I told you that in the first game here, so I talked about that a little bit. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. Basically, my Twitter is linked to my JustinTV, so whenever I go live streaming, that'll give an update. I don't really use Twitter other than that, though. So that's at MaxSCtv. So thank you guys a lot for watching. Thanks for all the support you've given me in your comments on these YouTube videos. And I tried to respond to all the ones that were questions and that kind of thing. And thanks to anyone who came from Reddit. I appreciate your support too. And just look forward to more videos like this in the future. So see you guys. Thanks for watching.